morning, y'all. What's going on, man? Y'all already know it's PX Juice. I'm not a blood or a crip. They got pop off regardless. I'm a Bronx kid. You heard? You already know. Welcome to Regular Real Shit Music TV. You heard? This time it's going to be the story time edition. You heard? You already know. I'm about to give y'all my, I'm about to start this journey. This is chapter one, of Julius Darnell Lane's life in foster care. You heard? So I'm not trying to offend anybody. I don't want to offend nobody. You know what I'm saying? This is just my life. I'm not going to be saying nothing crazy or no shit like that because I'm not one of them type of niggas. I'm not in the street like that. You know what I'm saying? With that, I ain't going to got nothing crazy to say except for what happened in my life. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't offended nobody. So, with that being said, you already know it's BX Juice, regular real shit, music TV. Let's do it. Let's do it, man. Um, I want to start with off with my name is Julius Darnell Lane. Guest, I should say. I use Lane, but my name is Julius Darnell Guest. You know what I'm saying? My mother is Joan Lane Anderson, Guest Anderson. My father is Darnell Guest. Um, my father passed on. Um, I have sisters and brothers. Um, I'm not the oldest. I'm like the middle child. Um, it's I think 8 of us, 9 of us. Well, you know, I don't really know too much about what really happened about how I was taken and stuff like that. Me and my mom is in a good place now, so I try not to, I don't want to, stir up anything that's old. So I try to leave that alone. But I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna start off where you know I was starting to I remember things, what I recollect on things. Um, I know me and my brother Kevin Guest. I know we were Kevin. I think Kevin was 3, and I was about 4. This is what I remember. Um, I remember. I remember. I remember certain things. Um, I was told uh, we were on Daly Avenue and stuff like that. But those times, I must have been younger. I don't remember that. I don't remember too much of that stuff right there. You know what I'm saying? I remember my sisters. I remember my grandmother. I remember my aunts. You know what I'm saying? And my cousins, for the most part, I do remember them. I don't remember a lot of events and stuff like that happening at that time. I was too young to remember that, I guess. So, but I do remember after being 4 years old, I do remember a little bit from 4 years old, and I remember going and being in this place called the New York Foundling. You know what I'm saying? That's where me and my brother was at. I just remember that. New York Foundling is located on 3rd Avenue and 149th Street in the Bronx. It's right in between, like, it's right the train station on, I think that's uptown side, I want to say. Downtown side, I believe. That side. And the pizza shop is like right there. This place is right in the middle of right there. And the pizza place and like right next to that, their place would be like that department shopping stores right there. On 149th and 3rd Avenue for those that know what I'm talking about. But that's where this New York Fallon place was at. And I remember, you know, I can't remember too much of conversation and stuff like that. But I do remember me and Kevin being in there and remember have people around. I guess those were the counselors and the stuff and the people that ran that place. I do remember seeing these people, and then I just remember coming out the door. You know what I'm saying? And me and Kevin coming out one room, and I seen this older lady sitting there. You know what I'm saying? I would come to learn that that was Miss Brady. You know, the lady that was gonna be taking care of us. She was sitting there, beautiful, her glasses on. She had a fur coat on, and she had a fur hat on. I remember this is like I was born in 79. I was born in 79, 80, 81, 82, 83. This is like 83, 1983, because I was like 4 years old in 83. And I remember seeing her sitting there. Didn't know who she was. I wasn't scared of nothing. We wasn't scared. I just remember wasn't no talk. I just remember her taking us by the hand. She said something to these people. They said whatever she was saying to them because she was just sitting there quiet when we came out. Then she got up, and she said whatever she said to the people. It wasn't about like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and we was leaving. She grabbed me and Kevin by the hands, and we was gone. You know what I'm saying? And that's where my life starts at. I remember. You know what I'm saying? Going to foster care. Um, Yeah, I remember that. I remember my first ride. I remember our first ride on the bus that I can remember being on a bus. And that was the 55 or the 41, I want to say, because I know both of them go down Webster Avenue. So it probably was the 41 most likely we was on, though. And I remember for the first time being on the bus, looking out the window and stuff like that. And it was kind of snowing a little bit. Not really, but I just remember it was kind of snowing a little bit. And I just remember as a kid looking out the window, riding down, that strip on Webster. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. Riding down the strip and stuff like that, man. And me and Kevin on our knees looking out the window. We kids looking out the window and stuff like that. Then we finally get to, we finally come to the bus stop in front of 1408. On Webster Avenue, 1408. At that time, 1408 had the I don't know if they still got it there, but the little place on the side of the building you could go into, and I guess it was some play bills. I don't know what it really was. I was a kid back then, but I know that place was there on the side. But that I remember 1408 getting off in front of that's the bus stop that's right in front of 1408 still. In the stores and stuff across the street at that time, the Chinese store and it was a couple of other stores, like two other stores. Like I'm pretty sure they changed up now a lot, but back then, that's it was stores and stuff like I said, Chinese stores and stuff like that. So I remember getting off and us getting off the bus in front of 1408 and then walking around because you gotta walk. My building is the middle building, 1432. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta walk around that way. We ain't go that way. We went instead of going this way, we went the longer way to go to the building. So we went that way. I remember that. And now, first time I seen our building, we walked up into the building, and we didn't even go through the front. We went through the side. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I remember that the first time. Um, yeah, we went upstairs. Grandma lived on the second floor, apartment 2F. You know what I'm saying? We went upstairs. Like I said, it had to be maybe about probably 6 o'clock, probably 7 o'clock, maybe, because it wasn't, um, and I remember as soon as we came in the house was dark. You know what I'm saying? I remember this as a kid. The house was dark. So I'm like, dang, it's dark in here. And we walking a little bit in through the house, and I turned my head back to look back, and I see some glowing eyes sitting on the couch, and that was Gizmo. We had a dog called Gizmo. Grandma already had Gizmo, man, and I'm like, oh, all right, so now we know we got a dog and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't remember. I can't say too much. I remember this stuff right here, and that's what I remember for that night of coming, first time being with Grandma and her taking us from New York family, and that's where it starts, man, for me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I remember. The next morning, most likely, we wasn't in school yet, so you know. I remember. I don't know if it was a Saturday or not. I can't say if it was a Friday to say. Oh, we got up the next morning. It was a Saturday morning. It wasn't that. I don't know what it was, but I know we got up the next morning. We had our own room. This is the first time we seen the room. because when we got there, I guess the lights was off. I don't remember her clicking the lights on, but of course, most likely she did. But I don't remember seeing the room at the. But I do definitely remember getting up in the morning and our window being right there and facing the back park of Webster. I remember that. That's because that's where our room was at. And, so that's where it start right there for me and my brother. You know what I'm saying? It starts right there for me and my brother. And, yo, I remember, you know what I'm saying, getting up the next morning and grandma having two, you know how you got the little two brown little tables, some stand tables right there. She had two little stand tables sitting right there for us. We had both had our own beds sitting next to each other, right next to each other. It wasn't bunk beds yet. They were just regular beds. And then we had those, and we had our the tables right there. She had our cereal made for us and all that. That's the first time I ate King Vitamin. You heard? That's the first time I ate King Vitamin ever. You already see it, King. You already know. But that's the first time I ate King Vitamin ever. And and the TV was sitting right there. You know, the TV with the hanger on it. We had a small TV. The TV, you got the top, and in the bottom, you could turn to channel 31 and all that other stuff. You already know. Everybody know already. But we had that TV. And I just remember eating cereal, grandma doing that for us. You know what I'm saying? That was our first day there, being there. Like the next day, that's what I remember. You know what I mean? And I feel good now just talking about it because I remember. And that's where it basically started at right there. And I guess I want to say everybody started coming over. I guess that's when I met. We started meeting grandma kids. My sister Essie and her twin Dimples, Cynthia. Um, at that time, it was just them. I met Clarice, and then I started meeting my cousins. You know what I'm saying? Alyssa. Let me start with the adults first. Then Alyssa. Um, Chuck was living there, which is my cousin, my little cousin Vincent, which is his father. You know what I'm saying? George and Gary and them. That's it. They dad. Um, of course, I'm in foster care, so grandma, even though we call her grandma, most like, but still, that's still like our mama because she took care of us. You know what I'm saying? Even though we call her grandma, but still. So that's what made Essie and them our sisters, Dimples and Cynthia and um, Truck, um, Uncle Irvin Senior. You see what I'm saying? And other Eddie was here too. Then, God bless Eddie, my brother Eddie. He was here still, and Mark, Mark, Mark Brady. These are the Brady's. Y'all know. Um, those they all came over, and you know what I'm saying. And then it had the other ones that's not here that wasn't here when we came to the family. The other brothers, Rocky and you know Raymond. So I know the Brady's is a big family. You know what I'm saying, and but I know mostly all of them. You see what I'm saying? Because I remember, and those are the ones that I mentioned that were gone by the time we came to the family. Those are the ones I didn't meet. Probably the only ones I didn't meet is them. Not probably, sorry, but God bless everybody. The ones I didn't meet was them. But everybody, I remember them coming over and stuff like that. And in time, we started meeting different. I don't think Essie and Dimples and everybody came over at the same time type stuff. But I know Chuck was already there and stuff like that. So we was you know, meeting everybody in time. But people were coming over because, of course, Grandma got two new kids, foster kids. So, and we started meeting the family, started meeting everybody in town. Gary, God bless Gary, man. You know what I'm saying? We started meeting everybody, man. And, and then when me and Kevin got there, which is, and foster kids funny like this. You know what I'm saying? Avery, which is my little cousin now. I still call him my little bro. We could say cuz, but this is what foster kid does. Um, at that time when we got there, Avery was there already. Grandma had Avery already, and Avery was a baby. And we remember him being. I remember him being in the in the crib. Um, and we was like, Avery, you know what I'm saying? Grandma told him his name, and he was a baby. And then we used to, this thing we used to say, dump a baby. And he used to jump up and down in the playpen and stuff like that. So yeah, Avery was there. You know what I'm saying? He was our little brother. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, and and then we start meeting, you know, and then we start meeting our cousins and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? My cousins, you know what I'm saying? Cal, Jermaine, my older cousins, you know what I mean? Um, Not to mention, now I want to forget like Uncle Irvin's sons and stuff like that, which is my older cousins again. Irvin, Irvin, Irvin Jr. You know, Lawrence. you know, his sister Linda. You know, I definitely remember Linda. She was no joke when we was younger. Alyssa was no joke. Katie, which is grandma's niece, and then Angie, which is Alyssa is my cousin Clarice's mom. And Angie, which is Alyssa's sister and Katie's daughters, and Clarice's aunt, and then they their brother Harvey. Um, I started meeting everybody. Like I said, then my cousins started meeting my cousins, like Cal Jermaine. You know what I'm saying? Vincent didn't come over yet. You know what I'm saying? I started seeing my cousin Vincent when Chuck started bringing when him and Lillian started coming, which is Vincent and her mother, and my aunt Lillian. Then she started coming. I started seeing Aunt Lillian. Then out of nowhere, Vincent started coming. You know what I'm saying? Vincent, yo. And their brother, my older cousin, their brother Kevin, Big Kevin. Um, yeah, I started meeting everybody. We started meeting the family. We start even the next door neighbors. That's the first time we met. Jason. You know what I'm saying? My little cousin Jason, my cousin, you already know. Up on faith, you already know. This is all Webster. This is all Webster. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all, I know y'all just see me put up my video on my first, my story to Rikers Island, and I gave a little bit about I grew up in Webster. That's from 4 years to 12 years old. I'm telling you, that's where I was at. So yeah, we met the family, started meeting everybody. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the kids wasn't here yet. You know what I'm saying? Even we met Jason, little Daryl wasn't here yet. You know what I'm saying? Quinte wasn't here yet. I remember Shantae being there. She's older than us. That's Jason's older cousin and stuff like that. And their grandmother, Miss Dot, God bless Miss Dot, and Jason's mother Dana, God bless Dana. That's when we started meeting everybody. And at that time, God bless, my cousin, not God bless him, but my cousin Darren, which is Jason and them cousin, you know what I'm saying? His dad was alive then. I remember Big Darren when he was alive. You know what I'm saying? I remember. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's when we started meeting everybody like that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, we kids at this time, so I'm not outside or nothing like that. We ain't outside. We new. But yeah, we started meeting the family, man, and it was a good thing for me. Grandma, she was a beautiful person. She started right away teaching us morals, principles. Um, we started going to church. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But growing up right there in there, and like I said, that room right there became like everything for me and Kev. You know what I'm saying? That was our room, man. Like everything. Like that's what I said in my story. I was talking about the back window and stuff, the back park. We see everything in the back park. We at the middle building. You heard 1432 in Webster. You heard me? And that bridge is right there in front of my building in the back. That take us right across the fucking across the Metro North, and you put you right on Washington. 55 is right there. So you know what I'm saying? That's before when that bridge was opened in. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember going across them once we started getting. But anyway, like I said, so once we started meeting the family and everybody, that room was going to be me and Kevin, everything. And he was going to find out that we was going to be in there a lot. A lot of days we was going to be in that room. You know what I'm saying? Getting in trouble, whatever. Um. So yeah, Grandma finally started, getting us in school and stuff like that. After a while, I guess I turned I probably turned 5 or whatever. It's time for me to go to school. I guess. Kevin wasn't going to school yet. It wasn't time for him to go to school yet. But and I remember this the first time. I remember the first time I heard about down south. And Kevin and Grandma was going. I was like, yo, I was mad. I couldn't go. I wanted to go. Like, y'all going where? Down south. I wanted to go. And that's the first time me and Kevin being split apart like that. We wasn't split apart. We together, of course, but he went with Grandma, and this is our first day. So, Grandma by then, Grandma already registered me in school. I was already in school by then, so I couldn't go. So I had to stay with God bless Miss Daniels upstairs. I think she was on the 10th floor, which is I want to call him. He was like an uncle to me because he was cool with Gary. Dave. You know what I'm saying? That's his mother. And I stayed up there with them till Grandma and Kevin came back from down south. Because, like I said, I had to go to school, so I was going to school for a little while from at Miss Daniels' house. And like I said, I was Grandma. She put me into 55. You know what I'm saying? Right across on Washington. I went to 55. Right across from there is a big baseball field. You know what I'm saying? I started going to 55. You know what I'm saying? Kindergarten. I remember my first teacher was Miss Cunningham. I never forget Miss Cunningham. I remember Miss Cunningham as my first teacher. Um, and I remember and meeting kids. You know what I'm saying? Meeting kids in school. I wasn't outside yet on Webster. Like I said, even when I started going to school, I didn't really. Let me not say that because I had a couple of friends. Like friends came out of 1408. I remember um Emmanuel. He was in my class. His brother TJ. I remember them. They stayed at 1408. I could name everybody. I'm not here to say like I was hanging out with everybody and all that on Webster. I was too young for all that. But out my window, a lot I see. I know I can name everybody on Webster Avenue, from older people to people my age to dogs, everything I can name. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody on Webster. I'm pretty sure people started they remember me, because I know they remember the Brady's. They know the Brady's, so and I'm pretty sure they remember. But like I said, like so I remember I remember kids. You know what I'm saying? That was I went to school with Johnson. He was in lived in 1408. I remember God bless the day. I remember Manny. His sisters, Mina and them. You know what I'm saying? So I remember everybody from Roger, Rondu, Kareem, everybody. It's nobody I don't remember. So these kids, Roger, Kareem, and Rondu, and all of them, they older than me. And even I remember Larry and Jessica, the girl, and they had the S posse and the technical knockout posse back there, Tyson and everybody. So all of them was older than me, way older. They probably wasn't way older than me, but I'm pretty sure they was like at least 5 years, 3 or 4 years older than me. Them, all them kids and stuff like that. So but I don't want to jump ahead. But these are the people that was, I came to know. But now, I started going to 55, man. Like I said, I remember my first teacher, Miss Cunningham. Yeah, I was bad, man, in 55, B. You know what I'm saying? I was bad, B. I was fighting all the time in school. After a while, so I started going there, going to school and stuff like that. I paid attention a little bit because I remember kindergarten and stuff like that. And, wasn't getting into no fights like that too much. But then, I was learning my work, learning how to read and stuff like that. And math, I was, reading was always my subject. From kindergarten, when I started learning how to read and I really started, that's when I loved to start to read and stuff like that. That was my favorite subject in school. But that's, I remember that, going to school and stuff like that. And that was a good time for me too. I remember us, when you come into the classroom, you go sit down, you get the desk, you got the chair connected to the desk, and you look to the right of you and up on the wall up there when you go hang your coats up at it, and then they got the ABCs and they got the months of the year and stuff like that. When you look at the stuff, so I remember school, the books everywhere, the bookshelves and stuff like that. When we go sit down and read, I remember this stuff coming into kindergarten. So I remember school and started watching TV. Shows like Reading Rainbow was out. You know what I'm saying? Me and Kevin sit down. Sesame Street. Of course, Sesame Street is older than me and older than, but Sesame Street was the regular Sesame Street. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? That was Big Bird, Stuffaluffagus, and Cookie Monster, and all of those. You know what I'm saying? That was first. That's what we was watching first. And I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of the Muppet Babies came from. Probably, but I don't really think so. But probably it's all the same stuff. But those are the shows that we was watching first. Like I said, Reading Rainbow, and basically really Reading Rainbow and Sesame Street. Really. Other shows was coming on and stuff like that, but we was into books like that. Cause I remember reading books like the Berenstain Bears and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and Opening Doors and stuff like. I remember these were we was more reading books. We was more reading than watching TV. Watch TV, but more do your schoolwork and reading and learning and stuff like that. So I remember really that. I was a heavy set kid. I was a greedy kid, man. I was a greedy kid, man. I was greedy. Y'all see my picture I post up sometimes when I was standing in front of 1432 on web, and I was probably 11 years old then. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 10. You know. So yeah, I remember school, man. It was good. I remember getting going to lunch. Not even going to lunch, because at that time it was lunch boxes. I remember carrying our lunch box and stuff like that. That stuff it means a lot to me. That stuff I remember. I remember carrying lunch boxes and all that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody have different ones on their lunch boxes, different things. Um, then of course you start getting into the cartoons. You know what I'm saying? Because now we getting a little older, maybe like 6, 7 now. You see what I'm saying? So now we watching wrestling and stuff like that. That's wrestling was our joint back then. It was different as a kid, you know what I'm saying? On watching wrestling for me, it was kind of different. Wrestling was our joint though, you know what I'm saying? I really didn't have no. I guess probably I didn't really have no favorite wrestler. I loved a lot of them. Of course, everybody liked the Hulk Hogan because he was like the leader and all that. But I like the niggas like Jake the Snake. You know what I'm saying? Roddy Piper was dope. Um, Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels, which they was the Rockers at that time. You know what I'm saying? When they got together, the Strike Force, which was Rick the Model Martel and Tito Santana. You know what I'm saying? My favorite group was for Demolition before they even had Smash. It was just Axis. I mean, before they even had Crush, it was just Axis Smash, and that was like my favorite tag team champions and shit, because they became tag team champions. But those were my favorite ones right there. Demolition. So I like a lot of people. Macho Man was always dope. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was dope. You see what I'm saying? Even when Kamala came, Junkyard Dog always was dope. So I loved wrestling. You see, I'm naming I'm Nikolai Volker. I could go on and on and on and name mad wrestlers that I used to like. Iron Sheik, Andre the Giant, Big John Studd, whoever. I can name whatever. Rock Don Morocco, Superstar Billy Graham, whoever, Honky Tonk Man, whoever you want me to name, I can name. Brother Love Show, I can name everything. Ultimate Warrior, I loved it. Every order, I love different wrestlers. Dusty Rhodes, I like Dusty Rhodes. You see what I'm saying? So, Sid Vicious came in, so wrestling was everything to us. We loved wrestling. We even used to make, my cousins. Then we came to know, like I said, that Grace and her children, and I guess they were family to grandma, and they did after a while. Then we started knowing them. They started coming over, which is my cousin Alex. Y'all probably know him as Lex or whatever the case may be, and his older brother Ramon and Ralph, and you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be, and Shanae. Those are they started being our cousins. It was just Tina. The other ones wasn't born yet, and Grace used to come over and she knew grandma. So even with them, we started knowing that they was our cousins, so they used to come over, so now we got our cousins and stuff like that, and so yeah, so being in school and stuff like that, I remember school, and you know what I'm saying, and carrying lunch boxes and stuff like that, and And then after that, once I started getting into first grade, second grade, and stuff like that, the third grade, then we started going. Like my third grade teacher was Miss Marzette. Um, then we started going into the lunchroom. Things started changing. That's when I started getting bad. And I was like probably like 7 by now, 8 maybe or something. I don't know the timelines of us being in school, what grade we was in, but I probably was like around that time, and I probably was like in the third grade. And Miss Marzette was my teacher. That's when I started being bad. The rulers. That's when teacher had rulers and pop you and all kind of crazy shit. But yeah, I was bad. I started being bad, and Miss Mar. I paid attention a lot. I remember a lot of my classmates. I remember Tina's girl named Tina. I remember Erica. I remember the Spanish kid named Carlos. I remember the Spanish kid named Gilbert. I remember Mia and Michelle. I remember Patricia. She lived on Washington across the street from 55. Not on the side of 55 across the street where those buildings is at right there. Those buildings, my man Eric and his little brother Poppy at that time. You see what I'm saying? And I remember Santos. I remember Warren, them and Richard and his brother. I forgot his little brother name. I forgot his little brother name, but Richard, I remember that he had a little brother. And they used to go to 55 too, and they lived right across the street where we used to go in the schoolyard and get at lunchtime and get the ices, the icy people to come, and they lived right across right there. Y'all know what I'm talking about. For those that know, you know, and they lived in that building. Steven and Ebony, they was cousins. I remember them being in my class. I remember Tanine. I don't know. I think Tanine was from Webster. I don't think she was on Washington. But I remember a lot of my classmates. Santos. I remember Teron. Me and Teron used to fight a lot. But he lived on Washington, and my cousin and them. Katie in the building. So I remember a lot of my friends and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Then you had like older kids that was in the 6th grade, like Will and them niggas is from Webster, down the valley, and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they called it at that time. That's when that side. That's my cousin Alex and them lived on that side. That's when they had the spider web in the back park. I mean, in the park over there. I don't know if it's still there. I haven't been through over there in a minute, but that's when that spider web was there on that side. We come from on our side, the 1400s, to go to the 13s to go play on that shit. Lex and Alex, my cousin, them come outside, whatever. Um, so yeah, I know a lot of my friends from down there. Daniel, Damon. I remember when they first came to the school. Larry and Noel. I remember Larry and Noel. They older than I am, but I remember them. I'm pretty sure they went to 55, and but they probably got out of there. They probably because they older than me, so they probably got out of there. But Daniel and Damien, them niggas ain't older than me. Damien, that was my best friend. This is his cousin Daniel. You know what I'm saying? So I remember when they first came to school, just like my friend Albert, same they all lived in on the 1300 sides in that first building. I know Angelo, I know Kiki, I know Barkey, I know all of them. I remember all of them. They older than me though, but I do remember them. You know what I'm saying? Um, I remember a lot of people. It's really nobody I don't remember on Webster. You know what I'm saying? I could start naming mad people that I know on Webster. But this is the people that I'm just naming a few, just so y'all know. You know what I'm saying? People know. You know what I mean? And like I said, I have other friends in Webster, like Janae and Chucky and them. They live down the hall from me, and all the way at the end of the hall on the second floor. I had friends, Hector and them, and his sister Tawana, and his older brother Teddy, and their sister Maxine. Like, I'm naming people because these are the people I know and I remember. And I was a kid, and these people are older than I am. But these kids that I'm talking about, Hector and them, they was like around my age, probably a little older than me, maybe 2 years. And Roger and Kareem and all of them, they older than me. I know Master. Master was older than me. You see what I'm saying? He lived in the building across the street from the church on Webster. Across the street from the stores and all that in the stairs. So I know Junebug lived in that building too. I remember ain't nobody I don't know on Webster. Nobody. Especially I don't remember. You know what I'm saying? So I can name mad people. You know what I'm saying? Mad people. Um But yeah, like I said, being in school in third grade, that's when I started getting in trouble and all that stuff, and started, fighting and stuff like that, and carrying it, watching wrestling all the time, and doing stuff like that. Yo, man, I was bad. I started being bad in school, especially by like the fourth grade. You know what I'm saying? That's when I was started being bad, man. I used to get suspended as soon as I walk in the schoolyard. You know what I'm saying? I started being bad at that time. You know what I'm saying? And and so and grandma, she will beat us. She have to. She will get whipped our ass. But in the beginning, she wasn't really doing that. She just talked to us or whatever the case may be. I guess that's how it's supposed to be, though. We started getting old and hard headed, and we got to get our ass whipped. Um, Plus we used to pee in the bed and stuff like that. So, but this is young stuff. So like I said, yeah, by the fourth grade, I started being really bad, man. I paid attention. I did my work. Work was kind of a little bit hard for me. Math always was hard for me. Reading and stuff was never hard for me. Social studies, those little stuff, I was able to do that easily. People always wanted to be in a group with me when it was time to read and stuff like that. So, I paid attention. I was doing my work, but I still, I'm learning. Um, Me and Kevin, man, and like I said, and and I remember, when I was staying with Miss Daniels and stuff like that when Kevin and Grandma went down south, and Kevin and Grandma came back, and Grandma had brought us the toys, the cards that you pull back when you let them go. They go and jump and hit the wall, and they pop up into robots. I forgot the name of them, but Kevin had those. Had one for me, he had one, Grandma. And that's when they came back from down south. I was happy. That's when I went back down with Grandma. And, so yeah, that's just no, I was, that's school. But outside of that, and being growing up with grandma and grandma teaching us principles, morals, and values and stuff like that, and how to get on our knees. Grandma taught us how to say our prayers. You know what I'm saying? How to pray over our food. Gave us the young prayer, and she taught us, she took care of us. When we had to get in baths, Grandma gave us baths. Grandma did all of that stuff. We had clothes and everything. Always had clean underwears, all that stuff. We started peeing in the bed and stuff like that, and that made it difficult. And back then, Grandma, if we was using, Grandma go to the laundry, of course, but Grandma was a real woman. She also was using the scrub board and stuff like that. So now, as a grown man, I understand all that peeing in the bed and stuff. Grandma couldn't really keep up with that after a while. Y'all niggas always peeing, but she did her best. We had clothes. She made sure we was clean. She made sure we ate. We always ate. She the one that told us how to say prayers and say our grace before we eat, and how to mind our business. When we're eating food, and she's doing something in the back of us, because in the kitchen, she had the tables and stuff and the drawers and stuff. When she go in the drawer, I turn around and look. Grandma will pop me in my face and say, "Turn around and mind your business and eat your food." So she taught us stuff like that, and I ain't understand that till now. But Grandma taught us these things and taught us, when it was Kevin's birthday, I still got something. We always had a cake. Grandma baked cake, we always had a cake for our birthday. Not only did we have a cake, we had our cousins, Alex and them, Ramon, Ralph, our neighbor, which is our little cousin, Jason, and come from next door. Miss Dot let Jason come from over there, come over, Avery and Clarice and Vincent and all of our cousins and friends. We came. Every time I was our birthdays. These people came, and we came together, and we had a birthday party all the time. But like I said, if it was my birthday, Kevin got something. If it was Kevin's birthday, I got something. I remember Easters. I remember when we started going to church. Like I said, Avery was still with us. That's why I got that picture with me, Avery, and Kevin sitting right there next to Grandma. Because that's before Avery went with Katie. So so I remember Easter Bunny, Easter time and stuff like that. And then I remember Essie actually living and being there with us now. Then I remember Essie living with us because she had a room in there. That's why I remember Candy. I remember everything. That's when I started, Gary. That's when Gary used to come over all the time, make like certain kind of drinks or coconut drinks. he used to he used to watch all the wrestling with us. That's how we got on wrestling. Gary, you know what I'm saying? Excuse me. Gary always have fun with us. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, you know, and that was fun times for us. So grandma taught us these things. So in birthdays, you know, Thanksgivings was always the best to me because I was greedy. I was fat. They called me Mikey. I ate everything and sucked my thumb and all that. I love Thanksgiving. Grandma cook, yo, yo. I ain't like no chitlins and all that crap, but but grandma, everything else, I'm eating that, yo. You know, food was way different back then. You had the welfare cheese, that long box. That shit was dumb good. You know, I ain't like that powdered milk shit. I hated that powdered milk shit, man. But, you know, you gotta, you know, so I love the Thanksgiving and you know, those times and stuff like that. Grandma made those times real special for us. And Essie and everybody would come over. Like I said, Vincent would have Big Vincent Truck would have probably, you know, it wasn't cable. That's when we used to hook the cable up out in Gary and them, hook it up outside because we had that's when they put the box there. Cable first started coming, and you know, and you could hook your joint right to your TV outside, and you get a little bit of cable. So yo, I remember that. You know what I'm saying? Before they had the boxes, because then after that they brought the black boxes out, the cables or whatever. We still had the big TV. Everybody had a big brown TV, and so you know, grandma made these times special for us. You know what I'm saying? And so did Essie and everybody. The women didn't play. You know what I'm saying? Like Katie didn't play. Grandma didn't play. Number one, grandma ain't play. You know what I'm saying? I knew times I was bad. I knew I was gonna get my ass whipped. Grandma didn't play, and she didn't beat us all the time either. But she didn't play, and she will whip our ass. The women didn't play. Katie did not play. Yo, Miss Dot did not play. Yo, they come over there. Yo, these women, Alyssa did not play. Yo, I'm telling you, these women did not play, yo. I made sure I had a smart mouth too. I was kind of bad, but I knew when to shut up. Because if I didn't know when it's in there, a lot of times I got my ass popped and I was in trouble a lot of times. I had to stand up and face the wall a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? Because I was bad, man. I was, you know, grandma probably, I didn't really do that with an SC, you know, certain people. Of course, not Gary and them, because they could beat me up, so I didn't do that. But I was bad, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, you know, they made these times special for me. You know, those times are special with grandma's shoulders. And then, like I said, then we started going to church. You know, the church was right across. The church was right. The church was right, like I said, right across the street and shit like that. The church was right there, and you know, we could come out our back. We used to walk through. I come out of the building and walk through the back. And at that time, you know, right there, as soon as you come out of our building, they had the little center, I guess, for kids at that time. I remember that center right there. And we walked through the park. Either we could walk on the side and walk straight down the middle, or we could walk through the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? And the fucking train station right there, the Metro North runs right there. So we walked through the parking lot and we end up right there on the church was right there. That's before they even built those buildings that's there, those homeless shelters that's there now. I think they must be still there, whatever's over. But none of that stuff was even there. You know what I'm saying? I done seen amusement parks come over there because we used to go at nighttime and go sneak up in there and slide down the slides. So I remember when none of that stuff was there. We could just walk straight through there. But the church was right there. Excuse me, y'all. The church was right there. And I remember going to church at that age, you know. I think by this time, Avery went with Katie. By this time, Avery was with Katie by this time. My cousin Clarice had a lot of hair, a lot of hair. And I remember Katie house. I remember they had the fish Oscar and them, and I remember that the cats had Casper and Bandit. Yeah, I remember there's nothing I don't remember. I remember going in there when you go to Katie's house and Alyssa room was in the back, Avery room was in the back, and you go in there and they had all the pictures of everybody on the door. Yeah, I remember everything. And Avery KD Avery, and that's why I'm trying to tell my little Avery, nigga, you was eating King vitamins. Trust me, I remember. And then when you went with Katie, that's when you always had different cereal up on Katie refrigerator. Every time we come over, like, dang, yo, we get in trouble for saying that to grandma. Like that, grandma, Katie always got a lot of cereal. Is this Katie house? I'm like, oh man. But but they always had different cereal over there. That's what Avery was, Avery was talking about when we said what we was talking about. But you ate King Vitamin, little bro. Cause I was greedy. I ate, and when y'all couldn't eat y'all stuff, I ate it for y'all. All of you niggas. Y'all know. Um, but yeah, those times are special to me. Grandma and them made those, and Essie and everybody made them special to me. So listening to music, first time hearing music and stuff like that, and all the music that me loving this music and all that stuff I get from my sister from Essie and listening to all that stuff back then. You know what I'm saying? Those times are special for me. Like I said, and grandma taught us these values and principles and morals. And like I said, we used to go to, once we started going to church, and Katie used to go to church all the time. Avery and Clarice always had to go to church. Because Katie wasn't playing that yet. Niggas was going to church, and we had to go too, but mainly only on Sundays and all that. But we go, they always was there. Every time we go to church, Katie and Avery and Clarice was there. Um, I loved that too. You know what I'm saying? We was kids, so of course, I remember getting on our knees. I remember the service. I remember service. I remember it was way different from what I know, what I see now. Going to the church and stuff like that was way different. All that playing and all that was not happening. You know what I'm saying? We played. Grandma, she'll give us a look like, man, you better sit your behind down. I mean, so we knew. But I remember being in church and, getting on the knees and pulling the thing out that was on the bottom of the chairs, in the back of the chair. You pull it out and you kneel down on it. I remember all of that stuff. I remember communion, not being able to go up there to get the daily bread and stuff like that. I used to always say, Dad, why we can't get the... Now I know, of course, you wasn't old enough. But I remember all of that stuff. And that was good time for me. And then even church, even though after a while I didn't like going to church a lot, but we kids, of course not. But but we had to go anyway. It didn't matter. And then after church, of course, because I was greedy, I always loved after church because I knew Katie and Avery and Clarice and everybody was coming with us, and we was going to walk back to our house, and Grandma have breakfast cooked and stuff like that already, or whatever, or they start cooking, however it went. But we always ate. Or we went to Katie's house and Katie was cooked over there or whatever, but it was like that. Um, I love this time. I love this time. This is good times for me. So like I said, man, and then like getting back to school and stuff like that. I started being bad in school. You know what I'm saying? I was bad in school, man. I think I used to get teased because I was fat a little bit or whatever, but I was an active kid and I always was fighting. Yo, man, I started being bad in school, man. I started fighting a lot. I used to just walk in the schoolyard and get suspended. You know what I'm saying? At that time, Miss White was in there, this teacher, Miss White, but she was black. You know what I'm saying? And it was a Spanish Miss White. But, as soon as I come in the yard, I get suspended. I'm fighting somebody and I was bad, man. And then, I stopped. I started not paying attention in school. I read and I always did that stuff, but I clowned around more. And I was bad more than I paid attention. And yeah, man. I used to be, walking to school, I get suspended. Then times when we people lining up and it was time for us to line up in the schoolyard. I used to run around the schoolyard doing wrestling moves on niggas and shit on people. You know what I'm saying? And just straight up starting trouble. You know what I'm saying? At that time, it was all kind of wrestling. Like Ravisher Rick Rude was one of my favorite people, and he had the Rude Awakening and all that stuff. And I used to be doing dumb shit to people, to kids, lining up, and get suspended. Always inside the office. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, school, man, that age, that time, I loved it though. I remember going downstairs. It's time to line up and go to lunch, and I was going to downstairs and getting and walking to downstairs and getting to the cafeteria, and yeah, I was bad, man. I done punched one of these girls in the face in the eye because she didn't want to let me skip her. Sorry, Francesca. Um, all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was fighting all the time. That's when me and Tehran started fighting a lot. You know what I'm saying? John Paul came to the school. Antoine, I remember Antoine when the first time he came to the school. At that time I thought Eric could beat the whole school, but that nigga to me he could. And then my man Richard. Now I ain't forget Richard. He was another tough kid too, man. Richard was a tough kid, man. And I was bad in school. We was bad in school. These kids I'm mentioning, we was bad. Like going on like I remember going on trips. Then we started going on trips. You know what I'm saying? And to the planetarium. I remember those trips, stuff like that. Bronx Zoo, of course, or the zoo. I remember trips going on these trips. The planetarium, the aquarium, stuff like that. Yo, a lot of times I couldn't go on trips, man, because I was bad, yo. I was bad. I wasn't, I had to either stay in another class or I stayed home. But I couldn't go. I went to maybe 2 trips. Planetarium I went to, and I went to because the schools back then used to take us to the movies. I went to go see All Dogs Go to Heaven. I seen that because I started being good. I'm like, man, I ain't going to no trips, yo. And then so some trips I did go on. You know what I'm saying? Like that planetarium trip. I remember like that kid Richard I was telling you about. We was friends, but he was bad. And I remember he used to make us. I remember he not make us, but I remember we used to go on trips. He used to try to make niggas steal hats from other kids in other schools and shit. Word, I was like, what? And that's because back then, that's when Chicago Bulls was dope, the best. We had rhinestones and all that shit. So every go to other schools be this dude trying to make niggas steal hats. Like, and if you don't do it, he try to punch you in your face and all that. I was like, what? I was not going for none of that shit, man. I was a fighter too. You know what I'm saying? But he was my friend, so I was looking at it like, dang, should I fight this dude? You know what I'm saying? But I knew I will. You know what I'm saying? So when he started trying to make dudes take hats and all, I was like, man, I ain't taking nothing. It was this other tall kid in my class named Anthony. Shout out to all of my people that's grown now. No offense to anybody, but when we was younger. It was this tall kid named Anthony. He lived in my cousin building in the 1300s actually. And this nigga Richard was like, yo, if y'all don't steal a hat, you gonna you gotta when we get back to the school, you gonna have to let me give you 20 punches in the face and 2 stomps. I was like, what? Nigga, I ain't nobody stomping me, nigga. Ain't nobody punching me in my face or nothing. I ain't taking nobody hat. This nigga, let this nigga punch him in his face those times, plus lay down for that nigga to stomp him. I was like, yo, oh, hell no. I ain't, but we was kids. I was like, well, I wasn't going for that shit. Me and that nigga had to have a fight. That nigga tried to take my coat. That's when I first got a French toast with the French that had the fur on it. I had a burgundy joint, and we was on the nigga trying to take my coat. That's when I was like, yo, nah, fuck that. We gonna have to fight. And then that French stuff, went out the door a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was that, man. You know what I'm saying? So, I was bad in school. You know what I'm saying? But I loved the trips. I loved the fact that how we used to go to lunch and stuff and line up and stuff like that. Yo, even at a young age, I started running the hallways. Like me and Tehran, certain bad kids, we was running the hallways, yo. Like literally, I remember Mr. Dully. I don't know if he's still alive. Hope if he is, shout out to him. If he's not, God bless him. But Mr. Dully at that time, yo, he ain't play. He used to hit people in their head and all that. Beat you up in the bathroom and all that, especially if you know you bad. Yeah. So, and at that time, our principal was Mr. Plummer. Yeah, man, I was bad, man. Like I said, I went to some schools. I went to some I was able to go on some trips, some I did not. But I remember that. I remember time in school. I love school. I remember these times, and I love these times. That's why I'm able to speak about them because I remember them. Growing up on Webster. So, and that's just 55. But growing up on Webster for me, after I started getting a little older, because like I said, I was bad. I was fighting all the time. Of course, I'm not gonna fight kids bigger than me, that older than me. I can't beat y'all niggas. Y'all niggas in 6th grade. Nigga, I'm in the 4th grade. But I know everybody was here, and yo, this dude right here be fighting all the time. I always was fighting. You know what I'm saying? But the other kids like Will and them niggas was in like 6th grade and all. I can't beat them niggas. You know what I'm saying? Those niggas on Webster and shit like that. And then but growing up on Webster to me was like, dang, man, it was kind of fun. And then, when it snowed and, the time, the snow time, and we go outside. And I remember going outside playing in the snow and getting a cold and being mad freezing, or making snowmans, making angels in the snow and stuff like that, or playing with our friends, you know what I'm saying? The friends that we did have after a while. So yeah, but growing up on Webster Ave was no joke, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? At that time it was easy because we kids, but still, even for kids, it was certain things that was made it serious for me. It was fun on Webster. Like I said, me and Kevin started growing up in the window. We was in the window unless we went to school or grandma took us outside to take us wherever, you know what I'm saying? Um, I do remember grandma, my mom coming to see us a couple of times in the New York family, and grandma taking us to the visit, because that's when we used to go on visits. That's when me and Kevin used to, Kev, we going on a visit today, go see mommy, whatever. So I do remember my mom coming in. My sisters used to come with her sometime. Whoever came with her. My dad came, I remember. My cousin Pop came. So yeah, that's when my cousin Pop gave me the medallion. Back then we had the medallions, the Africans joints, the Nefertiti on it. He gave me that, even stopwatches and shit. So yeah, I remember mommy coming a couple of times. We used to go on the visits. Those was fun for me and Kevin when we get out of school, because we know, today we got a visit. So that was kind of fun for us too. But growing up on Webster Avenue, like I said, growing up in the window was crazy because we couldn't go outside. That's it. Somebody took us out, or we was out like that. But most of the time we was in that damn window. Yo, man, and we bad. I'm bad. Kevin just following me, because I was bad. But you know what I'm saying? I remember Tony and all of them, Peanut. I remember everybody. Manny. I forgot his little brother name, but their uncle was Daryl. Daryl had the 2 pits. Cocaine, Roxanne and Cocaine. Roxanne was the mother. I remember they was Brindle. And they used to come out of 1408. Soon as he come out, open the door, the fucking dogs would run out, jump over the gate, because it was a fucking like a little thing right there in the middle on Webster right there. Go in the back party. Jump over the gate and go in there, and they be in there. I remember Cocaine and Roxanne. I remember them dogs. And back then it was different. That's when they had gyms in the park and all that. You know what I'm saying? I was watching all this from in the window. You know what I'm saying? Me and Kevin was, well, like I said, I was bad. You know what I'm saying? Kevin just following me. So, for like I said, like the older people, like Master and them niggas was older than us. I ain't really pay attention to that stuff until now. You know what I'm saying? Until I thought about it now. You know what I'm saying? Um, um, you know, and shout out to El Famous. You already know, because I watch his story and his content and stuff like that. He talk about Webster, the 1400s, the 13s, and the 12s. And I'm like, damn, I'm from Webster. I know everybody on Webster. And when he mentioned Master, it made me be like, dang, man, I remember Master. Because why I remember Master is because I know everybody, but why I remember Master, because at that time, like I said, I was bad. And our window was right there in the back park. And people was benches right there. And I ain't think about this shit until now. But we used to throw shit out the window at people sitting in front of the in the bench, in the benches in front of our window. We was only on the 2nd floor. How stupid was that, right? Throwing stuff and then trying to hide. So we probably was hitting people. Master probably was one of the people, because he probably was like 16 then. I was like 10. Know what I'm saying? These niggas was way older than us. And that's from hearing the story about Master, I said, oh shit, when El Famous told it, I was like, oh, okay. Master, that's why Master was, well, he was a young G nigga, so when we did that, we probably hit that nigga with some shit, and that nigga was like, yo, you know what, because I was wondering why Kareem and Roger and Rondu and all of them, I was wondering why, like, yo, why all of a sudden everybody want to beat me up? I wasn't paying attention. I didn't think about none of this stuff until now. Until now, yo. It's crazy. I didn't think about it until I'm older, and then I said, oh, that's why. But look, that's what we was doing. Throwing shit out the window and shit like that, people. So, and that's what happened. Master and them probably was like, yo, to Roger and Kareem and them, like, yo, when y'all see these little niggas up here, because we wasn't coming outside like that, but when y'all see these little niggas up here, yo, you know what I'm saying? Yo, get them niggas. That's probably what they was saying, you know what I'm saying? Then we was throwing that probably like, not just Master, probably like other people, because we know everybody. It could have been anybody. It could have been Glenn and them. I know everybody. Glenn, Big Daddy, Bear, it could have been anybody that would have been sitting. They used to always was in the back park. So our stupid asses, you know what I'm saying, doing that, not knowing that the Bradys know everybody, and they know the Bradys, but we doing bad shit that we had no business doing, throwing shit out the window at people. So that's what got, now that I'm older and I thought about it, since that's why Roger and them, was at us at me like that. And all the kids was. It wasn't just them. It was everybody, all the kids on Webster. Some of them was my friends. Hector was my friends. You know what I'm saying? I remember Corey. I remember Ramel and Rondell when they was little. I remember everybody. Like I said, Janae and Chucky and them and they cousins, Jay and the Sandra. I remember ain't nobody don't remember on Webster. Like I said, Hector and them. I remember Hector and Tawana, his sister Tawana, his mother. I remember Teddy, his older brother, and his older sister Maxine. It ain't nobody I remember Leslie and them and Edie and like Little Raymond and Leslie was his sister, I believe. I remember it's nobody I don't remember on Webster. I remember Tony. He used to have his pits outside, and he had the snake at one time outside. Man, one time I found the watch, some dope shit. I was a kid. That nigga asked me how much I want for it. He nigga gave me $1 for that. That's what I asked him for. So that's what he gave me. You know what I'm saying? But I remember it ain't nobody I don't remember on Webster that I don't know. I know these people, and if these people, not that I hung out with them, I couldn't. They were older than me, but I threw out the window and hearing people, and we know people names. You know what I'm saying? We know people names, man. And so like, yeah, man, doing stuff like that, and that's why I know now that the kids around Webster, while they was at me like that. And plus, here, I know they was hearing this dude is bad. This dude be fighting. I always was fighting in 55. Always. And I was bad for real. You know what I'm saying? But not to the older kids that's older than me. I can't beat them. They older than me. But anybody my age, and I was bad. Niggas know. Yo, this dude right here, I even went to special ed after a while. You know what I'm saying? But that was probably in 5th grade. Only because of my behavior, because everybody know, Julius could read and all that. So everybody know I wasn't no dummy, and they know I was bad, though. I was in there for I used to go to the resource room. Before I went to special ed, I was going to the resource room. Miss Dunn used to come and get me from the class and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? I remember, so yeah, I was bad in 55, man. You know what I'm saying? And I remember going through 55. I remember certain teachers. I remember certain things. But I had a good time in 55 as a child and going to the auditorium and doing plays. I remember one time when I got towards the 5th grade, I believe, or the 6th grade, Miss Stewart was my teacher. That was my last teacher. I remember Miss McBride too. I remember Miss McBride, but Miss Stewart was my teacher at the end of everything. And I remember us going down on in the auditorium and her making up a calendar rap. We did the calendar rap, and I remember a lot of stuff from school, man. I loved it. I loved 55, and I remember a lot of the kids that I went to school with, Curtis, like I said, Erica and Michelle and all of them, Warren and them. Like I said, all these are the people that I remember. Derek and his brother Alan. I remember playing flies up, throwing the ball off the wall. We used to play that. You know what I'm saying? Punch ball. You know what I'm saying? Manhunt and shit like that. So, I was bad, man. You know what I'm saying? But I love this time in school and stuff like that. I remember a lot of times. I remember one time on Web we had a blackout. I remember I probably was there for like maybe 2 blackouts. I remember, but the first one I remember, that's back in the days when niggas had them turtle pies came out and all that. Niggas was eating not just Jolly Ranchers, but the fortune cookies. They's orange and black pack. Um, that's when the blue blow pops first came out. All that stuff. The ice cream truck getting the Hulk Hogan ice creams and all that stuff like that. I remember all that, man. Halloween was dope. You know what I'm saying? Costumes and stuff like that. And Halloween was good. Go trick or treating, and even though you had to be careful and stuff like that back then, but that stuff was fun to us as a kid. Doing that was fun stuff, man. And I appreciated and I loved it all those times. Christmas time, when Christmas came around, you knew it was Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Because you in school, you get out at 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock. You come home and it's Charlie Brown and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and stuff like that is on. You know what I'm saying? I love coming from after school to where we used to get out of school like 3 o'clock, get home. DuckTales is on. Tailspin, and I remember the after school cartoon wasn't too many because I think the last cartoon was Thundercats. Everybody know that Thundercats was the last cartoon to come on. After that, after Thundercats went off, Different Strokes came on. So I remember all. You know what I'm saying? I remember all of that stuff, man. I remember all of it. You know, it was fun, back then. And then, then we got introduced to the box. VJ Ralph McDaniels, you know what I'm saying? I remember you had to turn the channel and then turn the channel to you and then turn that shit all the way to 31. So I remember all that stuff. Like I said, growing up in that room right there, I seen everything from that back part in that back park right there. You know what I'm saying? On Webster Avenue, man. Like I said, sometimes I was outside, sometimes we was outside. You know what I mean? But that for the most part, I understand why the kids was after me like that. You know what I'm saying? And doing dumb shit like that, throwing shit out the window and all that stuff. But I love Webster Avenue, and I remember everybody. And I'm pretty sure everybody, they remember me. You know what I'm saying? But I remember everybody. You know what I'm saying? I remember riding our big wheels coming out the side of my building, and they got the thing, the people the maintenance people downstairs, we ride our big deal down that long ass thing down there, they gotta walk back up. I remember all of that stuff. I remember scooters when they first came out and you had to push it with your feet. I never had one, but I seen people like Peanut and them riding one and stuff like that. I remember Tyson and all of them. There ain't nobody I don't remember on Webster. You know what I mean? And this is a fact, yo. I seen a lot of shit in that window. You know what I'm saying? I remember shootouts, me being in the window, me and Kevin, and people running through the park, because it was a parking lot right there too on the side of 1408 that you could come through, walk through that way to come into Webster, to come into my building where our building is that. And 1408 is the building on the side, the parking lot is on the side of that. I remember that nigga Rolando. I remember that dude. Peacock, Willie Pooh, Lee, his brother Fresh. You know what I'm saying? I remember, nobody I really don't remember on Webster. I remember all these people. I remember Master Brother Lloyd. I remember his older brother, I forgot his name, but I remember everybody. Nobody I really don't remember on Webster. I loved Webster, yo. And that's where my childhood years was spent at. You know what I'm saying? On Webster. Grandma took good care of us. Always going to Essie house on the weekends. That was the best for me. You know what I'm saying? Essie always had us. Essie always had us and took us, man. Always. Dimple took us. I remember going into what is it, Staten Island. I remember going to Staten Island with Dimples, and she taking us to see, and we met the little people out there and the round table and eating and stuff like that. They had the pool. Yeah, I remember Dimples took us. I remember. So she used to take us places. Cynthia was there with us a lot. I remember Cynthia waking up in the morning, Christmas time. It's Christmas. The next day is Christmas. Cynthia, you wake up, back then you could wake up like 4 or 5 times and it's still dark outside. You know what I'm saying? So I remember waking up and Cynthia cleaning the house, washing, mopping the floor. The tree is up. We got presents and stuff. I remember all that stuff. It was a very good time for me. You see, I'm smiling. Um, um, going down south was the best for me. You know what I'm saying? That was the best, man. Going down south. Down south, I would say, is where we learned how to ride a bike. We had two twin bikes. I remember Uncle Irvin bought two twin bikes for us, man. That's where we learned how to, down south is where we learned how to ride a bike and stuff like that, man. And it was fun going down south. Every time, I remember school is out. School used to be out. Once school's getting out, you know it. Summertime is coming in. Um, like I remember Washington, Maxwell Park. They had the pool right there. You know what I'm saying? I remember all that stuff, man. Summertime coming in, we go to free lunch. We went to every school. Start at 55. Go from 55. We go to what's that school over Kevin's school across from uh, it was right on the same side where I forgot that. I think it was 32. You go to 32, niggas go to 148, and then the school on top of that was 110. Cause my cousin Avery and them lived across the street from them schools in Dr. Martin Luther King and all that, in Seatown and all that, on Wash. You know what I mean? So go to free lunch and all that. I remember go to mad schools, B. I remember that shit was fun, man. The school used to give us the round pizzas. Yeah, I even missed school lunch. I remember school was fun for me. Growing up on Webster Avenue was, for that time as a young, was fun for me, even though I wasn't outside yet. Sometimes we was outside. We went outside a lot of times. Sometimes we played in the park, and stuff like that. I remember people like Buster, um, um, Dominique. I forgot his older brother name. I remember people. I remember a lot of people on Webster. So like, you know, going to free lunch and after free lunch, you know what I'm saying? We be doing that for a little while. The next thing you know, Katie will come over, you know what I'm saying, and be with grandma, and grandma, they be in the living room. Grandma be taking, we knew we was going down south because grandma be taking our clothes out. We see grandma packing clothes and folding up clothes. Me and Kevin be like, yo, we going down south, Julius. We be mad happy and all that. I remember we didn't know who we was taking. Sometimes, one time Sinead came with us, Ralph came with us, Alice came with us. But we knew we was going down south, man, and it was always fun. Um, Irv, Uncle Irvin used to come in the van, you know what I'm saying, and take us down south every summer. You know what I mean? I remember leaving and getting down south and stuff like that, or traveling in the van, and he had the bed in the van and all that stuff. Pack chicken and grandma packed everything, sandwiches and all that stuff. It was fun for us, and then traveling down south was fun. It was fun. You know what I'm saying, especially depending, it doesn't matter who we had with us, because but it was fun, man. It was fun doing that, and I remember these times as a child, man. You know what I'm saying? It was fun for me. Um, Throughout this time, we never forgot about our mother. Grandma, she never adopted us. She always told us that we was gonna go back to our mom and stuff like that. So, grandma never adopted us. But like I said, these times was fun for me, man. I remember these times. Grandma remember, introduced to needles the first time, going to have to go get a shot and all. I hate that shit. Um, teaching Kevin things that I had to teach my brother how to, a lot of stuff, and I had to learn first, and then, and I had to learn quick. I was a quick learner though, and then I taught Kevin the same thing. Um, so all that stuff, man, was good time for us. Like I said, birthday parties and Thanksgiving and Christmas. Easter was fun too. We still had to go to church on Easter Sunday, get the palms and stuff like that. I remember all that stuff was fun, man. And we was taught. Grandma taught us a lot. All the stuff that we needed to know, morals, principles, and all that. Grandma taught, and so did Essie and everybody else. And they ain't play with us. They loved us. They took us. I remember Essie taking me to my prom. I remember that. You know, I remember all that, man. You know what I'm saying? She getting me dressed by and all that stuff. We had pictures. She probably still got pictures. Um, I remember that. Me and Kevin, my brother, we was close, man. We started. We used to fight a lot too. Sometimes, not a lot, but we fought because we kids. Um, but we loved each other. Kevin always had my back, no matter what. I remember the first time I was going um fight this kid named Tony, man. Kevin tried to fight him for me and all that. Kevin stepped up first and then punched that dude in the nose and then got shout out to T, you know what I'm saying? Tony, but that's was our friends at that time, and Stanley and Dandy and them, they lived in my building. Um, so yeah, Kevin used to take up for me a lot, man, with no problem, yo. You know, um, and growing up in the room, me and him and stuff like that, we learned each other and started learning each other. I always had Kevin back no matter what, you know what I'm saying? That's my brother, even if we fought and stuff sometimes. Didn't matter, we was kids, but we grew up and learning the same thing, wrestling. Like I said, making belts. We used to make the belts. My cousins and them with Ralph and them come over, Alex and them come over. We have make the belts out of cardboard boxes and shit. Make a championship belt, and then we wrestle and all that. Whoever win, take the belt with them. We did all that. I loved all that. Cal and Jermaine used to, then I remember them. My cousin Cal and Jermaine started coming. They was in group homes and shit. Them niggas started coming over, coming to the house. They always made it fun when they came. You know what I'm saying? It was always fun when Cal and Jermaine came over. And that's when Vincent and stuff started. That's when it really got, because Vincent was more our age. It was fun, man. It was fun, they made it real fun. I'm very appreciative that I grew up in that family, and grandma, we was taken care of. Kids was getting, molested and all kind of not being taken care of and foster care. We didn't have to go through that. We was taken care of and taught the right things and taught the right way. And we seen things. We went down south, like I said, those were the best right there, going down south, traveling down south. You know what I'm saying? Um, I like that. You know what I'm saying? And I remember those times, I remember we went to mainly down south. I remember the weddings, people that got married. I remember when Shelly got married. I remember when Uncle Irv got married to Aunt May. Um, I remember Aunt Marjorie, Reggie, and his mom, Aunt Shaniqua. Um, Samini and Sami. The Brady's mean a very lot to me. They played a very big role in me being here, especially as a youngster, as a kid, and learning the things that I needed to learn starting out, whatever it was. Sit your behind down or whatever. I remember the ice capades and stuff like that. Eddie working in Radio City Hall and taking and bringing us, and Essie bring us down to the ice capade and all that stuff. We watch Mickey Mouse and all them on ice and all. I remember a lot of stuff, man. I love, growing up. I loved growing up like that in the way I did. I wouldn't change it. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, you know, going down south was fun, you know what I'm saying? And the traveling was the real fun part of it. Traveling down there was the fun part. Sometimes we stop at Denny's or somewhere on the road down there, on the way down there. You know what I'm saying? So the traveling part was fun. Getting down south was even better. Once we got down there, we knew we was down there because we heard the pebbles, the rocks, the car drive up on the rocks and stuff. So you hear it sometime. A lot of time most times we went, we only used to arrive. We used to always only arrive in the. I don't know. As a kid, I don't know if it was 3:00 in the morning or not, but probably it was, or if it was 10:00 at night. But it was always dark when we got down south. And our friends down there, Lavelle and Marquise, you know what I'm saying? Once we got down there, we couldn't wait to see them, and that's when we met Guy. You know what I'm saying? Grandma's son, other brother of mine. God bless everybody that passed on. That's when we met Guy down south and stuff like that, man. And Lavelle, like I said, my friends Lavelle and Marquise. So, and and that's Grand was still alive. Mama Liz, Aunt Vicky, Aunt Mosey was still alive then. And I remember Grand and Mama Liz had the grape tree, and then Nelly and Bobby had the trailer a little bit after where Grand and Mama Liz's house was at. Like and I remember Carlton. It's never, these times for me are very important times to me that I'll never forget. Um, Being down south was fun. Grandma had a nice house down there. Um, the patio part, being on the patio, going out on the patio, that part, and then having the best part to us was the hammock. We used to have fun on that hammock, man. Swinging mad high, swinging each other mad high on that joint, man. It was fun. It was fun. It was fun. Kevin and them was doing backflips at that time. Kevin used to know how to backflip, and my cousin Lex used to know how to stand on his hands and walk on his hands and stuff like that. Those times were very, very fun to us, especially to me. I really love them times. Me, Kev, and my friend Lavella Marquise, we used to go on a venture because they from down there. He was going to Walkamore School and all that stuff because I remember they, and we used to go everywhere and just walking them through them forests and all that stuff. We used to walk through there, go on adventure for a long time. Sometimes we used to get chased by other kids, all kind of shit. That shit was fun to us though. We run back for mad far, my nigga. That shit, we was running for a long time. That shit was it was fun to us though. Going on an adventure with them. We used to have their dog Rusty used to come with us. That dog used to chase the cars. Used to see the cars come and coming by. He start chasing them and keep up with the cars. Y'all remember he got hit mad times, Rusty. But that dog used to always be with us when we go places. Hurry up. It was fun down south. I love down south. Going to the beach was the best. Not say, well, yeah, because the pavilion was the best, but the beach was right on the pavilion. The pavilion was right on the beach. So that was fun. That was fun right there. You know what I'm saying? That was fun. Going to the beach was fun. Guy, he used to take us to the beach all the time. Probably have Alex do a handstand or something, or have me say, um, um, ruffles have ridges. He should have to make me say that all the time. And then if I say take us to the beach, I love God, yo. God bless you, Guy. Or Kevin do a backflip. Had Kevin do a backflip. At that time, my brother Kevin used to flip off to the pole. He'd run up the pole and flip off and run up the house and flip off the house, yo. Kevin was nice at flipping. And take us to the beach. I said that. My cousin Alex did was nice in handstand walking. He did that and we walked. You know what I'm saying? He walked on his hands for a long time, and he take us to the beach for that. And at that time, Bobby Brown was out on our own. I love that song because of that. Because Guy used to be playing that in the car, taking us to the beach. You know what I'm saying? We used to love that, man. We used to love it. It was fun, man, going to the beach down there like that. Again, and then, grandma, then, out of nowhere, grandma, then we'll be down south for a while. And then, like, maybe in, like, August, Avery and them would come down. Katie and them would come down on the plane, Avery and Clarice or something like that. And then, you know what I'm saying? And those stickies, it's horse medals. Oh, my goodness, out there down south. I used to get tore up by the mosquitoes because they used to love me, eat me up. And then grandma, grandma out of the blue, grandma would just start getting our clothes ready. That's how we knew something always was going to happen because grandma started getting our clothes ready. And we be down south. I loved it, the house down south, man. I loved that house down south, man. We had a lot of fun, man. I'm pretty sure because Essie and them enjoyed it before us. But when it was our time, we had mad fun down south. I ain't gonna lie. I love down south, man. And grandma get us ready. We start seeing her pack of getting our clothes out. Yo, we going to the pavilion. That niggas be dumb happy. Hurry up, son. Niggas go to the pavilion, have mad fun, yo. Mad fun in the pavilion, going on all the rides and all that. One time Kevin got lost, man. We couldn't find Kevin, and Kev knew his address and everything, though. And then when we walking, out of nowhere they brought him. Like, oh, there go Kevin right there. But yeah, man, going on the rides and all that stuff was fun to me. Going to the pavilion, going down south. I love going down south, man. You know, yo, when we used to get down there, yo, the next day, all of the kids from down there used to be in front of our house. All the time. Every time we went down south, that happened. They hear Julius and Kevin down south. They like, oh, Julius and Kevin. And the next thing you know, all of the kids are down there is in front of our house. All of them. And they was our cousins, but we ain't find that out till later. Cousin through Nelly, Mary, and Bobby. I guess most of that was Bobby family down there. So you know. But yeah, man, it was like that when we was down there. But we had mad fun down south all the time, man. I love going down south, man. Uncle Irvin used to have us doing mad work though, for real. But I loved it. I loved it, man. I love it. That's when George, my cousin Georgie was mad little. Gary, I don't think Gary was born. Gary wasn't born yet. Georgie was little. George was little, man. Yeah, we love George, man. George was little, man. And, yo, I just remember I remember those times, man, and you know, it was those times means a lot to me. Means a whole lot to me. Those times of my life. You know, and you know, we be down south, man. We be down there the whole summer. We didn't have to go back to school until December. Lavelle and Marquise, them niggas had to go back in August. You know what I'm saying? So we still be down there while they coming off the bus from school and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? We still be down south. You know what I mean? And then you know, then we of course we leave and we gotta leave and go and come back up to the Bronx, come back up to New York and stuff. But down south was always fun for us. Grandma took us places. We went down south all the time and did things. We didn't, you know, it was fun. You know, coming, yeah, then, you know, I guess out of nowhere, grandma got sick and stuff like that. By this time, I was like 11, right? Like 11, 12, man. Yup. Um, I guess by this time grandma was getting sick or whatever the case may be. I can't say. I don't know. I was too young to know. I didn't ask no questions. I didn't know to ask nobody no questions or anything like that. It was just happening. And all I remember is, one time grandma leaving, they came, the ambulance came. Me and Kevin was in the house with grandma. The ambulance came and then they take grandma out. And I can't forget Penny was living with us too. Um, she had Terrell. I remember when she had Terrell, man. But yeah, Penny was there with us, living with us, and like I said, I remember they taking Grandma out on a stretcher, and she couldn't talk to me, and I was walking with her. I walked with Grandma all the way to the elevator. We was on the second floor. It was 3 elevators because it's just like it's the back stairs, a middle stairs, and the front staircase in the project building. 21 floors. So yeah, I walked with grandma to the elevator, and that's the last time I seen grandma. You know what I'm saying? And by then, I was going to I was going to 147. By this time, I started going to 147. I got out of 55, and I started going to 147, and that's when you know Tyson and Peanut You know what I'm saying? I want to jump ahead. Before, I know I was just talking about my grandma. She was kind of, but at that, this is what was happening. At that time, I was going to 147. Tyson and Peanut was running that school, son. Straight up, nigga. Ain't no playing. Them niggas ran that shit, my nigga. And when I got to the school, you know, from now I'm in the school with them, cause now I'm coming outside, all that throwing shit out the window at niggas, right? So now I'm outside. Now I gotta come outside. So now I go to 147. I'm in 147. And Tyson and Peanut running that shit, my nigga. They ran that shit. That's right before they just built that McDonald's across the street. That McDonald's wasn't there. I remember we used to go to Essie house all the time. She lived on Mount Hope Place. And we go right that way to go to Mount Hope Place. And there was no McDonald's. I remember when they first built that joint. And at that time when they built it, Tyson and Peanut was running that one. They was running 147, nigga. Period. I remember when I got there, and then all of them niggas and Tyson and Peanut, them niggas had everybody mob me. Nobody hit me though. Ain't nobody hit me. All them niggas mobbed me, but they ain't hit me. They was trying to take my shirt off, but they couldn't. And then and then after that, it was like it lasted probably for like a minute or two. Then they let me up. Tyson let all them niggas they got off of me, and then I got up and I I was mad and I like pushed that nigga Tyson. That nigga looked at me, he was laughing and shit, and that's it. And I was good in 147. I ain't never have no, and that was it. But they ain't nobody beat me up. I guess because they know I'm from their building. They know me, but that's what I was doing. You know, playing around and doing that shit, not understanding what I'm doing as a child, throwing shit out the window at people. That's why they got on me. And the older G's like Master them put them niggas on me because that's what I was doing, stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't realized that till now. Like I said, until I see my man El Famous, his channel. I was, and I'm tuned in and I'm listening. He's talking about web. He's talking about the 14 and 13s and 12s. So, you know what I'm saying? I know I'm from there and I know these people. Dave Master them is older than me though. So don't get it twisted. I ain't never hang with none of these people. Punkin' and all these niggas. I was just told my story of Rikers Island. You know what I'm saying? So like all of them was older, but I know them. You know what I'm saying? They know me. I know God bless the dead master not here no more, whatever the case may be. So I know, but I know everybody on Webster. That's where I grew up to 12 years old. So I'm in 147. And like I said, grandma's sick or whatever, but she went out by this time. And then, Cynthia was with us. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what was going on. I don't want to talk and say this and say that. I don't say nothing. Cynthia took care of us fine. We was fine. I wasn't. We never was hurt or nothing. Grandma Cynthia ain't never hurt us. We was fine. Cynthia was there. I mean, as a kid, I looked at we was fine. I know Grandma was not here, and she went to the hospital, but we was fine. I didn't look at Cynthia any kind of way. Now, however the system looked at them, that's something different. Because now, when I was like I said, I was in 147. And after Grandma passed away, they automatically, Mr. Rogers, that was our social worker, he automatically came to the house. He came to the school because I was in school. I told you I was in 147. Hector's sister was in my class because, of course, I was in special ed because I was my behavior. and Shamika was in my class too. But I was in 147, and then he came to the school. They took me out to school. We went to go get Kevin out his school. They took us to McDonald's. They asked us. They told us Miss Brady was passed on and whatever they told us. And where do we want to go stay at? Do we want to stay? Where do we want to go? Do we want to go to Queens with Uncle Irv? That's the first thing he asked us. I want to go with her son in Queens. Of course we want to go. Vincent and all of our cousins is out there. Of course we want to go. We used to go to Uncle Irv's house all the time in Queens, and when he throw the barbecues and stuff, we come out there trying to get in the pool. And then the main reason is all of our cousins is there. Of course we want to go. Yeah, we want to go to Uncle Irvin. We want to go to Uncle Irvin. That's where we went. Took us out of 147. I got Kevin, got something to eat, and they drove us up to Queens. And I guess Uncle Irvin was waiting for us because Uncle Irvin said, yeah. I mean, he said, yeah. And we came. By the time we got there, Jermaine was there. Cal, Jermaine, Big Kevin, Vincent, and George. George and Gary was there, I think. Well, I don't know if they came later. No, they was there. George and Gary was with us. They was just little. by this time, George probably was like 6. And Gary was like 5 because he used to go across the street and play with Hannibal all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, we got out there. We got out the Queens. I'm 12 years old by this time. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said I stayed on Webster from 4 years old to 12. Once Miss Brady passed on, they came and got us. Like I said, we was in foster care. So yeah, we said we wanted to go to Queens. We went to Queens with Aunt May and Uncle Irv. And like I said, Vincent, all our cousins out there. Cal Jermaine was out there, but Jermaine was a little bit older by this time. I think he was almost on his way out because he wasn't there with us long. Next thing you know, Jermaine was gone. Must went back to where he went. And it was just me, Cal, Kevin, Big Kevin, Little Kevin, Vincent, George, and Gary, me and Uncle Urban, man. And we had some times out there. We had some times, man. I don't want to spread this family business and stuff, but we had some times out there, man. And me coming out there, Uncle Urban, he registered me in school. I started going to 72 in Rochdale. You heard? Guy R. Brewer. You hear me? 72. That time, you know, me, Chris Boone, Big Kevin, Travis, and Damien, which is Andre Dre. Them niggas was going walking to school all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't going to school yet, but I used to always see them leave out in the morning time and go walk to school in Queens and shit. And they go to 70 because they was going to 72. And I was like, damn, I want to walk with them sometime. Next thing you know, my black ass Uncle Irvin took me to 72, registered me in. Now I'm walking with them to school to 72. I remember Tammy, Johnny, and Teresa. I heard Teresa passed on, God bless her. But yeah, Tammy, Johnny, and Teresa, they lived on the house at the end of the street by Frankie's and all that. And Chris Boone. I remember Chris Boone. I remember Courtney and her brother Jonathan, Miss Brown, and her daughters. Charmaine was older than us. Ebony was little. Um, I remember a lot about in Queens, man. And my cousin Big Kev, he's building bikes and scooters and shit like that. So he had all the bikes and all the scooters because he know how to build them shits. So you know, we had scooters and some when he let us ride them shits and shit like that because he always had some bike and some dope. He always kept it always. And we had put together, we learned, that's how we started learning to fix bikes, watching that nigga fixing the bikes and stuff like that, and always having a bike to go somewhere or go to the store and stuff like that. Miss Brown, man, she showed us that, you know what I'm saying? Used to let us go to the store for her. Miss Elaine, Miss Thompson, I was working for Miss Thompson. I started walking the dog, Naya. I used to walk her all the time, you know what I'm saying? And I used to get paid for it. I thank them people for showing me what it was to make money. Um, Irv used to always try to he always used to try to Irv was a detective too, man. Let me just say that. And he always tried to tell us and make us sit down and learn about our heritage and our African and where we come from. We was kids. We didn't want to do it. My cousin Vincent used to always be crying about that shit. He did not want to sit down and watch that stuff. None of us did, but he didn't like it at all. But but Uncle Irv used to always try to make us, and if I would stuff, stuff that I know now, I wish I would have sat my black ass down and paid attention to what he was showing us, because now I had to learn the harder way as I got older, and I could have had this knowledge if I would have paid attention. But Uncle Irv used to always tell us shit. You know what I'm saying? This is all facts, man. And Aunt May was a teacher. Um, it was fun in Queens. Growing up in Queens was fun to me. I liked it. I didn't mind. Like I say, going to 72, walking to Rochdale every day, and going to school, Guy R. Brewer. You know what I'm saying? We used to have to go to that Key Food right there all the time. We used to go there all the time and get them them Sunnydale juices. Uncle Irv used to always make niggas go for that shit, son. All the time. But we used to go there, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So, I liked it. I like Queens, man. I remember then, like I said, Uncle Irv registered me in 72. I remember my first day in 72. You know what I'm saying? Um, Damien, man. Damien, that was our friend, man. You know what I'm saying? Damien had the school. To me, Damien had the school on lock, son, because that's my friend. Because from over there, outside the school, that's my friend. But I know he had the school on lock. So when I started going there, if if I had any problem, I'd call that nigga Damien. that nigga knew everybody. So that's what I remember about him. You know what I'm saying? That was my friend. Me, Kevin, we used to, and in 72, and like I said, started going to 72. Damien had that shit locked over there. And I remember started going to 72, eating them murder burgers and suicide fries. Yo, this is facts, my nigga. This is facts, though. But I remember going to school, and I was eating it, too. Kevin used to always make jokes about that. Big Kevin, like, yo, he never used to eat that shit. I did, though. Fuck it, that shit was good to me. But yeah, 72, man, I forgot one of my teachers. I think my teacher name was Miss Keller. My first teacher was Miss Keller. You know what I'm saying? I remember my couple of friends. I remember Jaquana. I seen her recently, a little couple, like 2 years ago. I remember tall kid Daniel. I heard he passed on. I remember when Dougie first came to the class. You know what I'm saying? I remember Dougie first came to the class. Jamaican Dwayne, because he was friends with the dude that was in Big Kevin class. Segment. So yo, it was fun in Queens, B. You know what I'm saying? Going to 72. I started running the halls. Yo, I started running the halls for real, my nigga. Running the halls. Niggas getting chased by security. That's stupid. We in the school. It's not like we was going nowhere, but we was running the halls like that. Running from the niggas couldn't catch us, B. And I was a heavy set nigga. I was moving, my nigga. I used to move through them hallways. You heard? In Queens. So yeah, that 72 was kind of fun for me. I remember Tina and Tawana and all of them girls. I remember them. I remember certain people. I remember Deirdre. I remember she was in my class. I remember certain people. I remember this kid named Monty. He had like a little, nothing was wrong with him. He just looked it funny, but he was smart. He did his work. He did everything. We used to bother him a little bit, but everybody liked Monty, and nobody really didn't mess with him like that. We just played with him, messed with him. But Monty was smart, and everybody liked him. And I remember Monty, man. And I remember a lot of people in school in 72. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot, but the people are certain people, because I just came to the school. You know what I'm saying? But I am not going to lie. Knowing Andre, knowing Damien, nigga, I ain't have to worry about nothing. Or if I had a problem, I tell Damien. He knew everybody. That's just what it was. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I remember going to 72 and all that. I went there for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, we start cutting school. Me, Big Kevin, and Damien. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? He's cutting school a lot, man. We started cutting school a lot, man. And being in Baisley Pond, where the pond was at, because that's where we was at. We was right around the corner from August Martin. You know what I'm saying? I remember, and my man Chris too, Chris Thompson. You know what I'm saying? I forgot to mention him, Chris Thompson. He had his two dogs, Dina and Dynamite. You know what I'm saying? He had the big pool in the back of his yard, and his dad was right in the back of in back of our Uncle Irvin house. He had his mom lived there with his mom and his dad and his sister Chanel. And we used to come out all the time too. We always hanging out. We used to sometimes we used to cut school, man. And we go to that dude's house, yo. You know what I'm saying? Not all the time, but one time we did. But yeah, man. August, we lived around the corner from August Martin. You know what I'm saying? And Baisley Pond and all that. And that's when we used to go over there, and they had the little park over there in the pond. We used to ride on the swings and flip them shits and make them shits curl around on the pole. That's how we used to ride them swings. Be swinging back and forth for them shits. Mad high. Yeah, man. That was the days that when I was living in Queens. You know what I'm saying? It was fun. It was fun because I was there with all my cousins and stuff like that. Uncle Irv ain't played too much. You know what I'm saying? He was real straight up with us and strict. Aunt May was the one that we we was put us more at ease. Uncle Irv ain't play that crap. You know what I mean? But yeah, Aunt May Yeah, man, and like I said, yo, growing up in Queens was fun. When I was out there, we was doing that. We started cutting school, but when we wasn't in school and we was playing, we played manhunt or whatever. Yo, we used to play that shit, man, on the block. Especially Andre and his cousins come over, Dane and Charlie and them niggas come over. Yo, we be bothering niggas in August Martin that work in August Martin. They chasing us, all kind of shit. Yo, we used to be doing mad shit and yo, we used to get chased by dogs back in the days. That's when dogs used to be just running and roaming around. Niggas walking through, it'd be like a couple of us, all of us walking somewhere. Them niggas just chase us out of nowhere, yo. Word, like, yo, Queens, I remember, man. I remember Van Wyck. I remember us going, me, Big Kevin, all of us. We used to take the bikes because we all had bikes at a certain time. Kevin made sure we all had bikes or a scooter. And we all used to ride up to Caldors with Kevin sometime far. Yo, we used to ride far. We used to be on the highway and all of that shit, my nigga. I'm just thinking about that shit. And we ride to Caldors and back. Yo, we all used to be doing that shit. Queens was fun. We lived in a house. You know what I'm saying? In Uncle Irv, man, you know what I'm saying? It was fun. It was fun. It was fun. Our maid cooked. Uncle Irv, we all had a week of dishes. All of us, we had to do a week of dishes. Yo, Uncle Vincent used to be crying. I used to help that nigga, but most of the time that nigga get caught, it'd be his week and it'd be Thanksgiving. That nigga Vincent be tight, son. I help that nigga. I come down and help that nigga though. And Uncle Irv ain't play that. If you don't do the kitchen right, yo, you try to go upstairs and go lay down, that dude come up there and wake you up, bring your ass downstairs, and you got to finish whatever you did, yo. That was no joke. And we all had a week of dishes and stuff like that, except for George and Gary. They didn't have to do that shit. And we had to fold up, tie up the boxes and take them out in the front and all that stuff. So we had to work. Uncle Irvin just trying to make niggas do work, yo, for real. But that was fine. That was good now that I know now. And doing that, by doing that, that's when we started making money a little bit. You know what I'm saying? In Queens is how I started learning how to make money because that's when I started working for Miss Thompson, the people that's working that lived on the block. And Thompson, like I said, Miss Thompson had Naya, the dog. I got real good with Naya and stuff like she liked me. I used to go to Miss Thompson's house and Miss Thompson liked me. And then I said, yo, can I walk Naya for you? And she said, okay, I'll pay you to walk her. And she used to pay me some money, maybe like $5 or $10. It wasn't enough, but it was enough for it. And I was happy and grateful for it. And it was a lot to me at that time. And I was doing the job. And I used to walk Naya all the time. And make money. And then there was another lady that moved next to us, and I forgot her name. And she even let us start doing work for her, like raking up the leaves and stuff like that, and shoveling snow. That's where I started doing all of that stuff in Queens. So we can go to Frankie's and buy us beef patties with cheese and cocoa bread on me and Vincent, all of us. So that's when we started learning. We learned that stuff to do. In Queens, I learned all of that stuff. It was fun in Queens. Like I said, we started cutting school and stuff like that. And through cutting school, I guess, and being bad and running the halls again, I got kicked out of there. I got kicked out of 72. I got kicked out of 72, and I started going to IS8. You heard? IS8 is I had to walk through 40 projects to get to IS8 and take I forgot what bus that is, the Q something, but it goes up something Boulevard, from the pond. I kept the bus right there because they also had and go up towards that way. That's how I used to go up towards something Boulevard to get to that school. You know what I'm saying? All of us out there, me, Kevin, all of us, and Damien, all of us, we used to go to 150 Park over there and play basketball and all that in front of um what man something Kennedy Manor something Manor and Kennedy Plaza, and the airport was right next to us too. It was over the airport was right there. Kennedy Plaza, I think, or something Manor, something, but it was something over there. One of them, but we used to go to the park over there, the track and the basketball courts and all that shit, and play basketball right there in 150 Park. We used to do that shit all the time. And Vincent was going to that school right there. I forgot. Kevin was going there too. Kevin started going to school. Him and Vincent was going to that school. I forgot. I think it's 45. But yeah, I started going to IS8, man. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I used to have to walk through 40 projects all the time, or take the bus up Sutton Boulevard, get off, and then walk through 40 projects to get to that school. Um, ISA was all right. It was a badass school though out there. That's the bad fucking school, ISA, man. You know, I mean, I got there. Janae was in there when I got there. My friend Janae, she from Webster. When I got there, she was in there. What you doing at my school? Yup. She was in there, and yo, that was a badass school. And I had, I got kicked out of 72 and sent there. Um, ISA was alright, and I wasn't really going. I went a couple of times. I was going, but after a while, I stopped going like that. I guess I was, cutting school still. Next thing you know, that's the first time too in the August Martin and shit. When the first time I smoked weed, Andre had that shit, brought that shit to us and said he got it from his Uncle Bunny, and he could try to come like, yo, do this and hold it. The first time we was in the back of August Martin smoking, we was already smoking cigarettes, and then he came with that. That was the first time I got high. I was like, yo, what? I was high, yo. And then we used to go on August Martin. That's when they had the basketball. You can go inside the gym. The gym was open up. We used to go in there and play ball and all that shit. I was hot in there playing ball. Andre introduced us to that to weed. But not all the time we didn't smoke. That was just that first time, I think. We did it like twice. But then that was it. And like I said, it was fun in living in Queens. I stayed in Queens for 2 years, me and Kevin. You see what I'm saying? Oh, and then we started going, because we older now. We like 12, 13. So we started being able to go visit our mother again in the Bronx. And that's when we first came to Sherman. You know what I'm saying? 163 in Sherman and all that by the courthouse. That's my block right there. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where my mom was staying at. So me and Kevin started, that's how we learned how to travel. We used to take the dollar van from where we at by KFC, because we right there, jump on the dollar van, and that dollar van take you straight to the train station. Jump on the A train. We used to jump on the A train, take that shit. I remember we first started doing it. I was older, so I had to really pay attention to stuff like that. And next thing you know, we started going on our own. Cause I remember taking that train because Lillian came and picked us up one time and took all of us, me, Vince, and all of us, and we went to the Harlem and all that. I remember that's when Cal was gone by then. Cal went, Jermaine and Cal was gone. Cal left before my cousin Cal left before me and Kevin even went home. Cal was gone. Him and Jermaine was gone. Just me, Vincent, Big Kevin, and George and Gary. And then next thing you know, like I said, me and Kevin traveling on a train, an A train, taking that shit all the way to the Bronx, asking people, yo, how do we get here? And they tell us, and that's how we was get to my mom on 161st Street. And we already knew Yankee Stadium. That's what helped us the most. We knew once we see blue and white is Yankee Stadium. So boom, we used to ask people until we get there, and that's how we was getting there. Next thing you know, it just started being easy for us. When we go visit on the weekends, it was easy. And that's when we started meeting our friends and all that stuff over there on 163rd and Sherman. You know what I'm saying? All my friends over there. Guns, from Peter, Adam, Hustler, Eater Hustler, Mike, God bless Mike. That's when we started meeting our friends over there. Coming in. That's the first time I met Rocky and them. You know what I'm saying? Rocky and them just had moved to the block. You know what I'm saying? Me and Kevin probably was there for a little while. My cousin Pop was there, but then I don't know, whatever he was into, and then he left or whatever the case may be, and then it was just my sisters. But that's when we moved back. Next thing you know, we was going to we came back, and then we was going back out to visit our moms again. And Uncle Herb was like, "Yo, y'all don't gotta come back. Y'all could just stay with y'all mother. Y'all, it's time for y'all to." And we didn't come back. Uncle Irvin took us, brought our clothes. He drove us to the Bronx, to our mother house. He dropped us off. We talked for a little while, and then that was the last time we see Uncle Irvin and them, and they left. And me and Kevin stayed with my mom. That's when it started from there. You heard? Um, that's the next chapter of life. You know what I'm saying? So we left. That's when we stayed in Queens for 2 years. You heard? Stayed in Queens for 2 years, man. And then we left, and we came back to our mom on 161st Street, 163rd in Sherman. You already know. You already know what it is. But yeah, man, y'all already know it's BX Juice. I'm not a blood or a crip. I pop off regardless. I'm a Bronx kid. You already know it's regular real shit music TV. I want to thank everybody that's been tuning in, listening to the music with me and stuff like that, and viewing the channel. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully y'all keep viewing and sharing and liking. Um, Thank you for listening for this story right here. It's like I said, it's story time. I did something different. I'm pretty sure y'all heard the Rikers Island story, and then I'm going to get into all that stuff. And like I said, fill in the blanks and all that stuff for that. So thank you for tuning in with me, and like, share, and subscribe. You heard? And y'all all stay safe out there. Don't crash out. You know what I'm saying? Help each other, support each other, I guess, if we can. And thank you for listening to me, man. You already know it's Julius Darnell Lane's Life in Foster Care. It's chapter 1, you heard? You already know. It's BX Juice. Shout out to the Chocolate Mary Poppins. Shout out my brother K-Son, you heard? And all my peoples, my family, the Brady family, everybody. Whole Webster. Shout out to El Famous, you heard? You already know. All the YouTubers. Nate Almighty, you already know. Rich Green, you already know. The whole 161, the whole Brown building, the whole 163rd, the whole Shiesty, all my niggas, Dice Game Dave, all of y'all. Nove, Dutta, Joe, my nigga E, everybody. The whole story, the whole Watson, my nigga Icon, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody. You already know it's BX Juice. I'm not a blood or a crip, nigga. I pop off regardless. I'm a Bronx kid, you heard? Bow, nigga.